on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out low. Was it your plan? Can't understand. I love the air you bring, everything. Under the sun, a fire is burning. You tell me to hold on tight. I wish that we could stay here forever. I wanna remember. Oh, the sight of you brings the fight in me, makes me wanna move. Fingers down your spine, looking in my eyes, feel your hands on mine. Tonight we're freer than ever. I wanna remember. Oh, we run every endeavor. I wanna remember. Step on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out low. Was it your plan? Can't understand. I love the air you bring, everything. I'm in the sun, a fire is burning. You tell me to hold on tight. I wish that we could stay here forever. I wanna remember. Oh, the sight of you brings the fight in me, makes me wanna move. Fingers down your spine, looking in my eyes, feel your hands on mine.
I ain't feeling lonely, and I wanna admit it's time to end the ride. Fading it too slowly, with those gonna lift me up this time. You were the only one who got me tripping up inside. All the words you told me, am I reading something different from your eyes? See you for a moment, even hope that I can feel you. I see you, all that I wanted was to tell you that I need you. I see you for a moment, even hope that I can feel you. I see you, all that I wanted was to tell you that I need you. voice is getting nearer. Heart is pumping, thoughts are running wild. We got a good thing going. Why we gotta feel amplified? Stay till the morning. Countless hours spending by your side. You look at me, I'm soaring. Seeing all the truth behind your eyes. See you for a moment, even hope that I can feel you. I see you, all that I wanted was to tell you that I need you. I see you for a moment, even hope that I can feel you. I see you, all that I wanted was to tell you that I need you. Now I'm finally right here with you. Now I'm finally right here with you. Your voice is getting nearer. Heart is pumping, thoughts are running wild. We got a good thing going. Why we gotta feel amplified? Stay till the morning. Countless hours spending by your side. You look at me, I'm soaring. Seeing all the truth behind your eyes. always are gone. Euphoria at the bottom line, I lie afraid. Are we in the same place? Falling. I'll be the wake-up call. I'll be the siren. It's nothing personal, but don't try to fight it. I'm left behind, obeyed the lies, but always a gone. Euphoria at the bottom line, I lie afraid. Are we in the same place? Falling. I'll be the wake-up call. I'll be the siren. It's nothing personal, but don't try to fight it. I should have known, I would have known. I didn't know the answers. Break it down, fade it out. I'm calling on a broken telephone. I should have known, I would have known. I didn't know the answers. Break it down, fade it out. I'm calling on a broken telephone. Day has passed like a hurricane to my heart, drove it far away. See the lights on the other side. I'm going to get there and hope we will meet there. Day has passed like a hurricane to my heart, drove it far away. See the lights on the other side. I'm going to get there and hope we will meet
Sorry I kept you waiting forever and a day, but now we're out here together with nothing standing in our way. Can you feel the attraction? Feel the attraction. Can you feel it between us? This energy's inside us like electricity. Feel the love running through like electricity. Feel the love running through like electricity. Like electricity. Taking over your body, it's flowing through your mind. This feeling's got me on fire. Don't ever leave it all behind. Can you feel the attraction? Feel the attraction. Can you feel it between us? This
Fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.
Eyes in the eye, but it's no use, 'cause you can't.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to